Today we are going to do lesson 1.5. What this is going to talk about is pretty much your slope-intercept a lot of the time, but we're going to use the distance formula, and so we're going to talk about a lot of rate and time and stuff like that. And rate and time can be related back to your distance formula. So in this case it says a bus travels at an average rate of 55 miles per hour. The distance between Chicago and San Francisco is 2,130 miles. How long would it take for a bus to travel from Chicago to San Francisco? Use the distance formula. The distance formula is distance equals rate and time. And in this case, our distance is 2,130 miles. Our rate is 55. And let me go back and label while we're doing this so that I can show you the cancellation. Miles. Our rate is 55 miles per hour. And our time, we do not know, so we'll put T. Okay, and to solve this, you divide by 55 miles per hour, and you end up, okay, when I do this, you can put 2,130 miles, and this is actually 55 miles per hour times time. So if you divide by 55 miles per hour, you end up 2,130 miles over, and then I'm going to just flip and multiply there, and I end up with hours, 55 miles on the bottom, and the miles cancel, and you divide 2,130 by 55, and you get approximately 38.72 hours. Okay, let's do another one. It says in example 1, how fast is the bus traveling if it takes 22 hours to travel from San Francisco to Colorado Springs, a distance of 1,335? Well, again, D equals RT. So our distance in this case is 1,335 equals R times 22 hours. And I didn't put my miles here. This is miles. So we end up with 1,335 miles divided by 22 hours equals our rate. And you'll notice it says miles per hour. That's good. So our rate then is 1,335 divided by 22, or 60.68 miles per hour, mph. All right. Okay, then we've got another, it's pretty much rate here, but we're going to talk about how we can relate this back to things that you've already learned, like slope-intercept form. The table shows the height of a jet airplane T minutes after being in its descent. Find the height of airplane after 9 minutes. Okay, you'll notice here the distance between each one is 1, so they're going by 1 minute. The distance between each one of these is negative 3,000, negative 3,000, and it's going to stay consistent, negative 3,000, negative 3,000. So in the end, our slope here, okay, is rise over run, right? Rise over run. Or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Or in this case, 1 on the bottom and negative 3,000 on the top. And our y-intercept is right here. Okay, so therefore h equals negative 3,000 T plus 35,000. If we put in 9, we end up with negative 27,000 or 8,000 when you add it to 35. So 8,000 feet. Okay? You want to paint a 5-foot wide stripes on the wall. You want to paint 5 1-foot wide stripes on a wall. There should be an equal amount of space between the ends of the wall and the stripes, and between each pair of stripes. The wall is 14 feet long. How far apart should the stripes be? This is where it tells us equal amount of space between the ends on the wall. That tells us that we need to have X on the outside as well. Okay, and we want 5 stripes at 1 foot. That's where we get the 1 foot from. And X is our unknown. So in the end, we end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unknowns. So 6X. And we know that we want to spend how much feet on our stripes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 feet on stripes with a total of 14 feet. Minus 5, and you end up with 9. Divide by 6, and you end up with X equals 9 over 6, or 1.5 feet. And that is your answer. That's how wide your spaces need to be in between your stripes. So if we had the same problem, okay, except this time we want 4 stripes. So 1, 2, 3. We'll put a 4th one here, and then I'll extend my box. Okay, so our unknowns right here. And we know that our how far apart do the stripes need to be if you are painted 4 stripes. Okay, and the 4 stripes are still 1 foot. And again, it was 14 foot wide. So we have 5 unknowns. We know that we're going to take 4 feet up, and it needs to equal 14 feet. End up with 5x equals 10, x equals 2 feet. That is our unknown. 2 feet in between each stripe. Okay, if a jet airplane descends at a rate of given the table, what is the height after 8 minutes? Well, we need to find the pattern here, just like we did before. I use slope intercept. You could also figure out what it is and then just continue the table out to 8. That would also work. But in between each one is negative 3,200. Space up here is 1. Therefore, my rise over run, in this case, would be my rise is actually a drop of negative 3,200. My run is 1. So negative 3,200 is my slope. So H equals negative 3,200 T plus 36,000. I put in 8, and I get a height of 10,400 feet. Okay? In this one, we're just going to find the equation. We have a difference of 4. So our rise is 4. Our run is 1. Therefore, in this case, it's y equals 4x with a y-intercept of 11. And there's the equation. Again, we have a painted wall here, except this time 3 feet. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal unknowns. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, and it needs to equal 12 feet. Minus the 9, and you end up with 3. Therefore, x equals 3/4 or 9 inches.